Hello, guys. Once again, welcome to the Eyes of the Mirror TV. Today, we are going to embark on immigration system in the US. How aggressive Donald Trump has been since take over the office of presidency. We spread the news, and then you spread the word. Since taking since taking office on 20th January, President Donald Trump has announced a slew of immigration related to executive order, paving a way for widespread effort to crack down on undocumented immigration in the US, which he labeled as criminal, thieves, and rapists. So let's hear from the news agency.
The US's online asylum system suspended. Migrants waiting for their appointment found it cancelled.
We're just looking at the message that appeared through the app here through Ulysses. It says existing appointments scheduled through CBP1 are no longer valid. So that's it. That's the end of a 2-month journey, and I guess the end of the hope that today was going to be the day that they crossed into the States.
Trump did keep to his promise of deportation. He said that clearly right from the beginning. He wasn't joking, but many immigrants thought it was a kind of joke. Donald Trump has meant every word that he said. Anyway, most people felt that Harris was going to win and they couldn't leave the country at that moment. But probably they were not going to go into search by Rome to find them. So most of them were reluctant and said there is still gonna be a way out. So let's listen.
He was shell-shocked.
We sold the house and car to come here. In Venezuela, we have nothing. We're bad at all.
That was just day one. By Wednesday, there was more. Troops deploying to the border, obstacles being built, and an executive order which, the White House said, suspends the physical entry of aliens.
This is one of the most important information from the White House secretary. Immediately Donald Trump took over the office. He says suspend physical entry of aliens engaged in an invasion of the US via southern border. But let me tell you one thing that sparkles when it comes to immigration. Most of those people you see sold their houses in terms of greener pasture. But my question is, how will they survive when they are back home? Of course, they will be homeless. They will have nowhere to go. And most of them took loan from their parents or sold their father's properties to flee to the US. And this is the pressure that most of the immigrant faces at the point of deportation. Let's listen.
Aliens engaged in an invasion of the United States through the southern border. Defining undocumented migrants as invaders means US officials don't have to offer them asylum, they can simply put them out. The inflammatory language, the sound of a door slamming shut. The question for foreign migrants now in limbo in North Mexico, what next? That country's president offered repatriation.
If they want
There was an easy exit by the Mexican president and most of the presidents in the world. They said, we offer you an opportunity if you want to come back home, let's come. But the point is, will they take care of their citizens? Because if they were doing that, most people will not travel because they are already politically corrupt. So just to please Donald Trump, they'll come down to the news agents to say, oh, we are willing to take you when you come, but where were you when they were leaving? This is the problem that immigrant faces in the whole world. It's quite sad and astonished, but I know he has named them rapists. But my question is, are all immigrant rapists, or are they really rapists? Well, that is left for you to discuss.
to voluntarily return to their countries, there are mechanisms that exist.
The shelters that now house them might soon be needed for Mexicans. President Trump's also planning mass deportations, and more than 40% of undocumented people in the US are Mexican. The country could see an influx of its citizens heading home. A group of around 70 arrived on Tuesday night in Tijuana, among them farm workers.
Don't forget that in 2016, when he was the first president of the United States, he didn't go from home to home, from houses to pick those guys. But this time around, Donald Trump really meant business. He goes from factory to factory, from home to home, from house to house. And that makes it so difficult for most of the immigrants to escape. There is no escape route. And it could, as you could listen, one of them said, if you want to go to the US now, I will not advise you because there is no escape route. Let's listen.
Workers who said they'd been picked up from the fields. What do you think of Trump? They were asked. He's really doing a lot of damage to hard-working people like us, one replied. They're likely to be just the vanguard of many more, as President Trump plans for one-way traffic coming across this border. John Holman, Al Jazeera, Tijuana.
Yes, of course, Donald Trump only know one thing, one-way traffic. He doesn't know there is no alternative for the second one. But this is lesson to all the world leaders. Now that Trump is engaging on mass deportation, what is the fate of the immigrants? What is the fate of the ones coming? Because more people are still coming down. Most people are still going in search of visa to travel abroad. What could be the reason? We all know. The point is, there is no end to immigration. But I think the only area that it could be reduced is if every country could be able to take care of its citizens, provide job, and make the economic work. Let's go to the next video. And this is the second video, so listen very well. This is the second video. 1, 2, 3.
Trump also referred to the past 72 hours as a revolution of common sense, and he cited all the changes that he's initiated, including the arrest of illegal immigrants. CTV's Washington Bureau Chief Joy Malbon now on the operation to round up and deport.
The White House says the crackdown has already begun. In Boston, federal agents taking this man into custody as communities brace for mass deportations of undocumented immigrants, as promised by President Donald Trump. After declaring a national emergency at the southern border, the first of 1,500 active duty troops are set to arrive, along with planes and helicopters.
The fact is, this is like an emergency. Trump has promised, he has done it, and he's going to that. He talks about the tall golden wall that the Mexicans are going to pay. He talks about the taxpayers. He talks about other countries by increasing the tariff. If you don't take care of your border of immigration, it's going to sanction you with or lash you out with 25% on their goods if you don't take care of your border. So the world is in a panic. So everyone is running. I think this is a lesson for most of the presidents who are from the third world to really listen to Donald Trump. But my fact is that is he going to do this to most of those corrupt people? That is the point, because their citizens are suffering. Because in most cases, if the country was good, nobody will come to the US. That is the point. And that is where we stand. Immigration can never stop. So let's listen.
Helicopters in a show of force. Thousands of migrants trying to gain entry in the United States have been left in limbo. The mobile app set up by the Biden administration to gain asylum no longer works. And refugee admissions into the country halted indefinitely.
The mobile application founded by Joe Biden, in the moment Donald Trump comes in, it stops working. So people outside the gate were frustrated. Everything was shut down completely. He meant business. He's not a joker. For those who want to travel, can you a little bit ceasefire? Can you ceasefire a little bit and listen very well before you go? Because Donald Trump is going to make you an scapegoat. Let's listen.
Scary time with this new administration, and I want to make sure that our immigrant community, our Latino community, that everybody knows that they're not alone.
Part of the president's hardline immigration actions.
It's ridiculous. We're the only country in the world that does this with Birthright.
Trump signed an executive action to overturn a century-old constitutional right that grants citizenship to babies born on U.S. soil to undocumented parents.
He also signed an executive order to end the grant citizenship. Take, for example, people coming to the U.S. to give birth to their children, or if you're an immigrant, you are in the country, and once your child is being born in that country, you will be given an automatic citizenship. This is a bombshell to many of the third world countries who leave their country, their father's lands, their motherlands, to go to another country to give birth in order to obtain U.S. citizenship. But my question is, will he stop the one that has been already done? Donald Trump can do anything at this moment. But this is where the big problem is. But although it was blocked by a judge, and that was one of the biggest failure that Donald Trump could face at his first executive order. But this was a big blow to many countries, especially to the third world or to the Indians, the rich people that will fly their family abroad to the US to give birth to. And that for now has been frozen. I'm advising you, if you have your child, if you are really pregnant, could you stay at home and give birth to that child? Don't go. Do not underrate Donald Trump.
But a federal judge in Seattle took only 25 minutes to block Trump's order.
I was not surprised to see Judge Kunauer sort of dismiss the absurdity of the order and the...
It took the judge only 25 minutes to block that executive order. I know most people were very happy to hear this, but I tell you, Donald Trump is a fighter. The worst he could do is to fire the Attorney General or whoever who was the judge. He will fire you and bring someone that will listen to him. But most Americans loves it. And that was why he was voted. But is that a fair judgment? I don't know. That is left for you to discuss, not me. That depends on the Senate and you. Was that reasonable? We don't know.
And the absurdity of the president's action.
22 states sued, arguing the president, with a stroke of a pen, cannot write the 14th Amendment out of existence. Donald Trump's first defeat in the first days of his presidency. Joy Melvin, CTV News, Washington.
As I said, it could be his first defeat in executive order, but it's a guy that does not give up. He will come up with something, or he will sack the judge and put in a new one that will respect his wish. However, thank you for watching Eyes of the Mirror. But however, I will see you in my next episode. However, and if you have not subscribed, then try to do that, and then you will get every minute of the top stories online. Thank you very much, and do have a wonderful day. Goodbye for now, and see you in my next episode.